there, folks. So I'm out here in the forest, mid-December, snow everywhere, and it's kind of snowing right now. And I want to make a campfire. Now, one of the challenges of making a campfire here in the Pacific NorthWET is that everything's bloody wet. I've tried to make a campfire on the ground in the snow. It doesn't work. I've seen all the tips and tricks and still can't make it work. Maybe I'm just inept, or maybe it's just that the wood is too wet and the ground is too wet. I don't know. So I also tried one of the fire boxes, one of those little twig stoves. Works really great, but it melts into the snow, so I got a pan under it. The problem with those is that you've got to keep feeding twigs into it constantly, right? So I've been looking for some alternatives, and what I've found is this thing. Now, I'll put a link to this particular model that I bought on Amazon. It'll be down in the description down below. And yes, I'm an Amazon affiliate, so if you buy one, I will probably get a little pittance out of that. And what this is a fire pit that stands above the ground so that you're not dealing with the wet and the snow and everything, and it's got air circulation underneath it as well as all around it. So we're going to put this together and we're going to see how well it works. I've got a bunch of kindling, a bunch of tinder, a bunch of logs, and we'll just see if we can actually get a fire going here in the snow. So let's get started. All right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's hard snow that's coming down right now. Little pebbles of snow. So what we have here is the initial support part. Now, there's no instructions that came with the model that I bought, and I've seen online other people have also said this doesn't have any instructions, and that first part is kind of confusing. Yes, it is actually kind of confusing. So you do something like this. No, that's not right. There. It is a little bit tricky and a little bit fiddly to get this, but that's basically what you want, like that, okay? Then you take the legs, so they've got the little rubber tips, and you fit those in thusly. You just get all of them out because I can't see them. There we go. There's the other one. There's the other one. Okay. Fit them all in. Let's see, where am I going here? Like this. So you end up with, oops, there we go. No, I didn't do that right. Again, no instructions, so you're kind of winging it when you put this together. Okay, I think I have that right now. So you end up with something like this. And this is going to be the ground support. It sits on the ground like that. So the second part to this is supports that go to the where the fire pit is actually going to be. And again, these just fit in. This is all stainless steel, by the way. Okay, so you have that arrangement. Now you get the wire mesh that the fire actually sits on. Now, word of caution here. I have used this. It doesn't burn through. That's all well and fine. The issue here is that this could rust very easily. I know it's supposed to be flame, resistant and stainless steel, but something this thin is probably going to rust no matter what. So my recommendation, if you use this when you're done, you dump out the ashes and take this waft it out, let it cool, and then put it back in its container where it came from so as to keep it dry. This container here, it's kind of flimsy. I may end up replacing it, but for now it will suffice. But you want to put this back in here once you're done with your fire and you put your fire out, and this is all dry so you can keep it dry. Even morning dew will get this wet and rust could set in. Maybe this isn't a problem down in the southwest, but here in the Pacific NorthWET, this is something we think about a lot. So these go in pretty straightforward. You just pinch them together and they go in ends like that. And you just repeat that process for each corner. Okay, now we have our fire pit. It's very lightweight. The other interesting thing is, and I have done this, you want to make sure you're on level ground as best you can. You can pick this up and move it. So when this gets going, I'm probably going to move it out from underneath my rainfly here so the flames don't melt my rainfly. So let's get started with trying to put together a fire here, shall we? Now, there we go. Well, I sort of have a fire going. It's more like a smolder than a fire. What's nice about this fire stand here is that I can put my gloves underneath there and they won't catch fire, but they will get warmed up and dried out. So that's kind of nice. I've got my tripod now set up and I'm going to put a pot there and hopefully cook a meal. So my tripod that I hope to hang my pot from, well, either my pot's too big or the tripod's not big enough. Either way, this will have to do. So I've got some water and ramen and some chicken in there boiling up. And when it's all done, I'll take it out and put it in the flavor package and hopefully have a half-decent meal. So this is actually working out pretty good. This took a long time to get going though, because the wood here is so darn wet. It seems to be doing a pretty good job, and I've got a couple of pieces under here that are drying out. So hopefully I can toss those on after I've got the food cooked and I can enjoy a nice warm fire for a while. Well, I have to say, took a while to get going here because of the wet wood, but once this goes, this does a really nice job because it can pull air from underneath and get a good flow of air all the way through. Keeps the fire up off the ground so I don't have to worry about the snow slowing the fire down. And yeah, bit of a fiasco getting the soup all cooked up, but it worked out and it's tasty. Top ramen with some chicken added. Very, very good. Very good. This does a pretty good job. Now I can have a nice big fire. Put some wood on there, let it burn for a while. I don't have to keep shoving sticks in there. I like it. So the nice thing with this fire, the breeze picks up, and this fire really picks up because it's got that airflow underneath it as well. So when the breeze goes through it, it's underneath, above, around, all over the place. Burns really nice. You'll notice I've got my boot there underneath, and I can feel the warmth through my boot, warming up my toes. It's not so hot, you know, it's not melting or anything like that, but it's nice and warm and toasty. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed with this little fire pit thing here. Well, It's late and the fire's about dead and I need to get some sleep. So what I am going to do is I'm not going to pour water over this. What I'm going to do is dump this into the snow and put snow on top of it. And then this mesh I will put away in its bag so it can stay dry, because I don't want it to rust. So I'm just going to dump it out like that. And as you can see, no damage to the mesh whatsoever. It's all just fine. So I'm just going to put that over here and put this out with a load of snow. So there it is, all put back into its little container. And there was some snow on the legs, so what I will probably do when I get home is open it all up and let it all dry out properly. But yeah, it all fits back in there nicely. Okay, so now it's time to review the pros and cons. Pros: lightweight, burns wood very effectively, warms your boots and dries your gloves, no contact with the wet ground, that's a big plus. Cons: tricky to set up. There's the potential for rust, and the storage bag is a little flimsy. Overall though, in my opinion, this is probably the best fire pit for the Pacific NorthWET. Now you can feel to disagree or agree with me, put them in the comments. Thanks for watching, I'll see you out there.